Hey goalies, goalie coaches out there, Keats here. Nice to see you. I want to talk about the push-pull method. There are a lot of big-name goalie coaches out there that I respect, that promote it. I personally do not teach it with a lot of my clients, and I will go through why, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. So, the reason I do not promote the push-pull method, and I will go through when I do promote it, is let's say through the shuffle. If I'm sitting here and I'm shuffling, we'd like to make sure that our feet are, let's say, slightly wider than shoulder width, okay? Maybe I'll center myself up to the camera. So feet are slightly wider than shoulder width. Now, this all depends on the depth. Let's say the player is slightly above the hash marks. This would be my set stance. If I'm shuffling, let's say, to my blocker side, and I pull in that leg, and maybe I did that a little too aggressive to prove a point, I am not in a set stance anymore. This boot is too neutral, and if a guy were to shoot, I would have to go through an extra step of slipping out my feet, getting my boots to be a little bit more inverted, so hopefully I can grip the ice with my inside edge, and then I can drop. We're also having a slightly slower drop because of that, because there's a slipping effect rather than a driving down effect. So if I'm able to grip the ice right away, I'm able to use these edges as a lever to drive down. Oftentimes when goalies do that, we see their chest stay a little bit more neutral. We see the spine stay in a stronger area. We see the glutes stay up and back. And obviously the head is on a good angle because of all that. Second reason why I'd not promote it for, let's say, a shuffle is when a goalie brings in that back leg, usually their butt gets seated. If their butt gets seated, there's a lot of bad things that go along with that. Just like I mentioned through the drop, there's a lot of alterations that happen with the upper body. Our sight lines get diminished. There's just too much movement, okay? We would like to be efficient. We'd like to make sure that we're available for a shot at any time. What I would recommend for a shuffle is we just push and we just get that leg to bend and just get that flexion through the ankle again, and we're good. Now, maybe a lot of coaches recommend that as the pull, okay? But a lot of kids that I see pull, they pull it in and the glutes end up sinking. So I don't honestly think we need to recommend a pull. I think we just need to recommend pushing and just staying in an active lower body stance. Oftentimes, I don't see kids keep that leg extended. If I don't recommend pulling it in, I oftentimes don't see that. I see them be an athlete, try to get that leg bend. So I don't really see a lot of negative consequences with not recommending a pull in with that back leg. Now let's get into T-pushing, okay? Why I would not recommend it for a T-push, and for the shuffle as well, is because we have an abrupt stop at the end of our movement. Because I am stopping, everything just naturally recoils. That leg recoils automatically. I don't really need to do it on my own or even think about it. It just naturally happens. If I keep a strong hip bend, oftentimes we will never feel the leg stay fully extended. The reason why this is good is because now I can just keep most of that weight through the center line, have a nice strong stop, and I'm getting there again in a set stance. I have a slight inversion on my boots. I'm gripping the ice. I can drop at any moment. And we'd always like to feel that there's enough room between our knees to drop and that we're gripping the ice with our edges. Okay? If we don't have enough room for the knees to drop, like I mentioned through the shuffles, we will have to separate. And then obviously we're not gripping the ice, so we're not using that as a strong lever to drive down really fast, okay? Second thing, same thing as the shuffle, okay? Our glutes sink. If I pull in this back leg, my butt sinks. I'm getting there in a seated position, and then oftentimes you'll see a kid will have to rock forward and then widen out the feet to be fully set, fully available for a shot. Unfortunately, again, this does not allow us to get set as soon as possible, which is the main focus from my perspective when it comes to efficient goalies, is always being in a strong set stance and always being able to make a save even halfway through your movement. So I hope this all makes sense. Again, push. Naturally, when we stop, that back leg will recoil. And if we're holding a strong leg bend when we're shuffling, I don't really need to think about bringing that back foot in, and halfway through my shuffle, I can drop. I would have a tough time doing so if every time I'm pushing, I'm bringing in that foot. I hope this makes sense, guys. Now let's go through the two situations where I would recommend the pull of that back leg. A power push and a butterfly slide. So with the power push And the butterfly slide, we don't have an abrupt stop to naturally bring the leg in, and a shot most likely will come halfway through our movement. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring in that back leg after we push. All right, we gap up, we recoil, however you want to call it. We're bringing in that back leg for multiple reasons: better weight transfer, tighter posture, and obviously no holes. When it comes to the butterfly slide, we are pulling in that back leg for the same reasons. I'm tightening up my 5-hole, my hips stay in a better position, and usually it helps with my weight transfer. Now, at the end of the day, there's multiple ways to play this position, and these are just my opinions. So again, goalies, goalie coaches, I'd love to hear from you. So reach out, give me your opinions. It's nice that this seems to be a community where we share like-minded thoughts and we all build together. Take care, guys.